Guavy, the AI-native market sentiment intelligence platform, today launched Guavy 3.0, expanding its sentiment engine from crypto into commodities and forex. The same engine that has scored crypto market sentiment since the company's 2025 public launch now analyzes two additional asset classes, available immediately through a REST API and native MCP. Guavy's also confirmed that equities will join the platform in Q3/Q4 2026. The expansion marks Guavy's shift from a crypto sentiment tool to a multi-market sentiment intelligence layer. Crypto was the proving ground with over 50 million API token requests. The category is global market sentiment intelligence, built on a single premise. Sentiment moves first, and price is always the last to know.
Hi everyone, welcome to Guavy 3.0. We're building a community of builders here, so we appreciate that you've come. Today is a big day for us. This whole presentation is going to last about 20 minutes, so thanks again for joining us. Guavy is what the world feels before the markets react. We're providing market sentiment intelligence data, and our sentiment scoring can help in trading strategies to help manage risk. We launched the Guavy REST API last November, and we launched the first MCP server for sentiment data in the marketplace in Q1 2026. Guavy plugs into the LMS layer, so it works whether you're using a finished chat like Claude or ChatGPT, a coding tool like Cursor, or your own custom frameworks. I'm going to demo all that in a second. But first, I want you to hear about why we built it. Here is Donna Tilden, Guavy's CEO and founder.
I started Guavy with one simple goal: to help people make better financial decisions. And to do this, I felt they needed lower cost and better access to better information. And as technology has changed, the way to achieve this goal has changed. To the team and the investors who got us here, thank you. I'm proud to celebrate this Guavy 3.0 milestone with everyone. We're in the AI agentic era now. Reasoning has become commoditized. Everyone has capable agents, but the agents do not always have the data they need, and they don't always know what to do with the data they have. Data is the bottleneck. Guavy is the data layer that closes that gap for financial markets. We give people and their agents the information they need to make better financial decisions, managing their risks with more confidence. That is the difference between reacting to markets and actually understanding them. But the real story here at Guavy is one of rapid market expansion. We launched our REST API in late 2025 with crypto markets, and within about 2 months, we also added commodities and forex. Stocks are on the way later this year. We've also greatly reduced the time it takes to grow our gSWARM server farm and introduce new markets. Our roadmap includes real estate and IPOs and many more markets where sentiment can also influence financial decisions. I'll share our progress on that when we announce our equity expansion later this year. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Exciting times indeed. So before we get into how to use the data that Guavy collects, I wanted to show you how we create it with the technologies that are involved. So we have our gSWARM technology and our gPRISM technology. And with the gSWARM is basically a bunch of AI drones, or AIBs we like to call them, and they go out into the world and they look at markets and they look at assets and asset classes. And they're great. They're looking at things like social feeds and news and blogs and transcripts and bulletins and video and podcasts and PDFs and pictures and RSS feeds, and those drones are collecting all of that raw sentiment data and bringing it back into our NLP, or neurolinguistic processor, which is then writing articles for each of those data points. So and the articles get scored on sentiment, the clout, the speculation, the FUD, FOMO, the confidence, and the tone of the articles is all available as scored data points, as well as the article itself through the Guavy API. The real magic happens when the aggregation of all those raw data points comes together, and for an asset class, or for a market, or for a specific asset, that's where our trading signals come from. This is the narrative synthesis layer. We're combining counts and scores to reveal the story the market is telling itself, and hopefully that will give you a data edge, right? It is probabilistic data versus deterministic data. So probabilistic is calibrated multi-dimensional probability scores versus deterministic, which is straight up pricing information and volume, which is available in a lot of places. It's also available through our API, but it's certainly not something, it's the technical analysis. People rely on technical analysis to make trades, but this sentiment data, it's almost like fundamental analysis on a sentiment basis, where you can use this data as part of your risk management for your trading strategies. Ultimately, we are trying to give an information advantage to you as a trader. So we're the enduring tactics for market edges. There's only 3 of them. You can have your speed, you can have a good algorithm, or you can have good information. And where Guavy shines is we give you that good information. We're giving you thousands and thousands of data points on a daily basis. With the new markets, I bet you we'll be posting 10,000 articles a day, and on a monthly basis we're processing hundreds of thousands of articles, all with these 6 scored dimensions that are all available to you through the Guavy API. The real power is when we aggregate all that information into the asset, or the asset class, or the market itself, and you get buying and trade signals that you can integrate into your trading strategies. Okay, so now that we know how the technology works, let's have a look at how we use it. So if you head on over to Guavy.com, there's a whole bunch of more information on here on the site for you to discover what Guavy is all about. One data layer, every market. So here are the markets that we're in, and we have we're announcing today whether we're expanding to Forex and commodities, and we have stocks coming in Q3 or Q4. Everything an agent needs to reason about a market. So sentiment analysis, curated news, and trend signals and back tests. And the idea is that you don't have to build that data layer. That's what we do. We provide that data. You just want to build on it. So here's some thoughts for you, and what are builders creating. So things like sentiment triggered alert agents, signal driven autonomous traders, daily market intelligence brief. In fact, we have a whole bunch of recipes that we can run and work with our AI. But the first thing you're going to want to do is get an API key, a free API key, or sign up for it. All you need is your email address. It's a passwordless and secure login, and there's no credit card required. So you just put in your email address and you send your verification link. You're going to get an email, and then we're going to go to our dashboard and verify that. And we're on the free sandbox plan, which gives you lots of tokens to play around with in all the markets. What you want to do is make sure that you copy this API key, because that's what you're going to be putting into your API or into your AI. Let's head on back over to Guavy for a second, and I want to show you the agents, how the agents connect up, and our documentation basically. So there's documentation for the REST API for you to have a look at, and as well as documentation for the agents. So you can kind of see that the context file is available with the lms.txt. And to connect to tool, you just kind of go here, and we can connect to Claude desktop, we can connect to ChatGPT, we can connect to coding environments like Cursor and Visual Studio, Anthropic API, as well as open frameworks like LangChain and Crew AI. So I use Claude. So these are the instructions for that. We already got your API keyed. We just need to download the desktop and make sure that this is in the environment. Your API key is in the environment, and then grant permissions, and that's basically it. And then we can start using it. Let's head on over to Claude and actually ask it some questions first. So you can ask it anything you want, of course. Go to Guavy.com and see the lms.txt. Give me a summary of what Guavy is. So it's doing its thing. having a look. You can do it this even without the without your API key. Of course, this is just using the lms.txt, and it'll tell you all the stuff that's in it. Things like the in trading indicators, a newsroom, trade signals, and then AI friendly stuff for you to read about. We can also ask it things like, what kinds of things can I do with Guavy? Can ask that question. Tells me, so I've already connected the MCP tool to Claude. So here's a bunch of things it can do: track and analyze markets, read the news and get the mood, follow trade signals, score assets at a glance. So we could just, because we're debuting commodities today, I'm going to ask the question, what is gold doing today? Now, if I'd asked that question without Guavy installed, Claude is still going to give me an answer. It's going to look at 3 to 5 sources, and then it's going to come up with an answer. The answer is hallucination, of course, because it doesn't have all the data sets. That's what Guavy's for. So imagine there's thousands of data points in behind that it's now using to collect this, as opposed to just looking at 3 to 5 little articles. And we'll let it finish off its thinking. Thinking. And here's what Guavy shows for gold today. And of course, we can have a conversation with Claude about what we want to do with gold. We can set up programs to monitor gold. We can set programs up to monitor coins or Forex or whatever the case may be. So that's the easy way to use this MPC server. Let's go back over to Guavy and actually grab. Let's go over and have a look at some recipes as well. So these recipes are a great way to start using Guavy as well. And where they're categorized by the markets that they're in, so crypto, Forex, and commodities. So if I wanted to do a morning brief on Bitcoin, for example, I can do that. I just copy that there, and I can paste that in there, and I'll let that do its thing while we go back and find other things to do. Let's go back to recipes, and let's look at Forex today and Forex sentiment flip. Forex sentiment flip. We're going to copy this. So sometimes we get into this recipes are code. So in this case, I'm grabbing some Python code and dropping it in. We'll be building lots more recipes as we go as well. So here's the morning brief: sentiment, net positive lean, aggressive strategy hold, and really what we're trying to do is we're trying to catch the market action before it actually happens. So we're trying to understand the marketplace, hopefully before the trades occur, so that we can do our own trades against that. So as we're looking at our trading strategies, how do we incorporate Guavy sentiment into those strategies to help with risk management? It's kind of like a second opinion that allows you to kind of just test against what's going on in the world. Let's run this one as well. Now let's run the Forex one, so that'll be an interesting one to go for as well. What can we do while that's running? We're going to go over and look at some of these other resources that are over here. We have a blog, of course, and there we've got lengthy articles on how to do coding, as well as the feature sets that we're releasing. Our Wire is a real-time news and press, so that's where you can go and get all the articles and go read stuff. And of course, there's an API system as well. I ran your scripts logic. 3 majors flipped. So it's pretty pretty helpful to have a conversations right inside your AI about your trading strategies. It gets, of course, a lot more powerful when you integrate them as actual code. If you're writing your own code, your own trading algorithms, to use sentiment inside those algorithms, and we're excited to see what our customers are going to be using this for over time. We've had a number of API requests. So the crypto markets, as we've been running the last 6 months, we've served 50 million API requests, and I imagine Commodities and Forex will get there. We're not going to stop there, of course. We mentioned stocks, but we are also going to continue on with dozens of other markets over the next year or so as we grow our server farm and grow our swarm. Right? Let's have a quick look at pricing while we're here. There's individual pricing and business pricing, and really the difference is honestly things like custom webhooks are in the business pricing, as well as SLA agreements and things like that. But for individuals, here's the sandbox, which is a live market news, and we get enough tokens so that you guys can play around with the sandbox and figure out what you want to do with the data. The most popular one is our quant, and that's the $49 a month. It's $49 per market, I might add. So if you wanted Forex and commodities, that's $49 for each of those markets a month as well. And the next up is Pro, which gives you a bunch more tokens. So it's a tokenized type use. Inside the business pricing, as I mentioned, we have a commercial license that allows us to lot more tokens, allows us to do redistribution and commercial use, and also gives us custom webhooks. And then for large enterprises, we also have SLA and dedicated account management and various other things. So that's it for Guavy. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you're as excited as we are for Guavy to help with your trading strategy. So what will you build? We're excited to see. Thanks very much, and you have a great day.